Okay, so this is part two. So, um, like I said in the previous video, um, that was really the only times that I dealt with molestation and all of that. So there was no more of that, after that point in my life. Um, Now, when I was in sixth grade, we had, like I said, we had moved, and I was really, really depressed, even though I didn't really want to admit it. And I was a pushover. I was a complete pushover because I was so depressed. And when you're depressed, you can't. Sometimes you don't know you're depressed. You're just depressed and you don't know it. And maybe that just is what it is. I was just depressed. Um, so when I started school, I would get picked on a lot. Um, and of course, I never told anybody that I was getting picked on or anything like that. And had uh, this guy who was going through his own shit, as I found out later. He had chucked a book at the back of my head just to see what I would do, and I didn't do anything, of course. 'Cause like I said, I was, I was, I was, I was a vessel without anything in it. I felt empty and hollow inside. So anyway, I had no inspiration. Even though we were in a two flat, and my cousins lived upstairs, the same cousins that I lived with before. They all lived upstairs with mine, and then me, my grandma, and my father lived in the first floor. Um, and yeah, I I really had to find my own way through life, really. And my father did come up to the school. I think like in one or on one occasion, and I think that was literally the last time he went to my school. He went up there to talk to them, and they were to get my report card. Got my report card. I think he did that twice, and that was it. Like after that, he never did it again. Um, uh, Lord, but anyway, so whoops. So when I was in in eighth grade at this point, because I've already said the things that were happening to me, so I'm kind of gonna go past some of those little incidents that were in sixth, and because sixth grade, that was really all that happened. I was getting bullied a lot, and I was alone a lot, and I was sad a lot, and I had no drive or passion to do anything, and that basically was me for 2 years. And I started to learn more about myself. I started noticing that I like men. Um, around that point, and I would literally put all of these fine ass dudes, white, black, whatever, in my closet, and I would like literally scatter my closet. I literally scattered my closet with like all of these hot ass dudes. Um, Not the smartest idea, because I guess I thought that he didn't give a fuck, so he wasn't going through my shit, but he was. Anywho, and he went through it and he saw that, and I ended up taking all the shit down because I was like, this man is gonna kill me. Legitimately thought he was gonna kill me. But anyway, so one day, while I was in eighth grade, or going to eighth grade, I can't remember which. I think I was going to eighth grade. Um, I woke up one day to my father uh, trying to yank my bedroom door open because I had my own bedroom finally out of my whole life. I had my own bedroom finally, and one dresser and a television and a shelf, and I was so happy, even though my bed was like the same bed I had since I was like a wee young thing. It didn't have a bed frame. It was one of those cheap fold beds that you could fold up and then put in the closet somewhere, like you use for like company. So anyway, yeah, he ended up trying to bust in my room, and my door was broke, so it didn't open. I had to open the door from the inside of the room. So I didn't really think anything of it at that moment. I thought that something might have happened, because how he was, so aggressively trying to get in the room. Um, and when I opened the door, and I was like, in a state of shock, like, what? I said, what happened? I said, what? I was trying to say what happened anyway. Um, and he swung the door open like me mid statement of saying what happened, mid question, which forced me back. It pushed me back, and I ended up falling on my bed. Um, my father had a this rusty long metal pipe with random, like, I thought it was like a little X on one part of it because it looked like it was like this flat piece that looked like it had been, I don't know how to describe it, but it had all these little things on it, because it was some old rusty pipe he got clearly from an alley somewhere. And um, he started beating me with it. Um, he almost fractured. Actually, he did fracture, I think, my arm and my hand and my other arm. Because he was, you know, and so when I was doing like this, of course, he was hitting me all in here and all in this area, and I ended up really really hurt from that for a good minute, a good long minute. Um, and After he did that, he told me to go to the garage, um, and I swear to you, at that point, I thought he was gonna kill me, and I was debating whether I should even go in there. And he told me, if you go anywhere else but there, I'm gonna really hurt you. So I ended up going there. He had walked off somewhere. I don't know where he went. He just went somewhere. And when I went into the garage, he made me stand like a soldier. He told me to stand like a soldier and salute. And so I stood there and I listened to him yell and curse and scream at me about how his son was not going to be gay and I wasn't going to have a gay son and all of this shit. Um, and I just stood there and I was just quiet. And as his girlfriend at the time was in the car watching everything, and he told me, um, go to the basketball court. After he got done yelling at me, he's like, go to the basketball court, and if you go anywhere else besides that basketball court, I'm gonna hurt you. And so I did, and he came and he played with me, played basketball with me, and I kind of, I don't know. I don't know how I felt because, like I said, I was so depressed and so numb from so many things that was happening. And like I said, I was so depressed and I was so alone. And it just, even though my grandma was there and my family was there, I just felt so alone because no one cared. I could tell no one cared. Because when I was getting abused by him, no one ever said anything or did anything. And eventually, I did start calling the cops on him because after he did that, he he abused me a couple of times. But there was one time before we all right, this is before we moved because we had got evicted. We had to get an eviction notice because my auntie wasn't paying her part of the rent because she wanted to move out of Chicago, so she stopped paying her part of the mortgage, and they lost the house. Granted, my father was not putting a dollar towards the mortgage, so there was that. And again, I didn't know we were moving. So I ended up, coming home. I saw the notice. I talked to my grandma, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we're moving, and all this shit." I'm like, "Oh okay." I mean, y'all never tell me, so I guess this is just like a normal thing again. And I need a minute. Okay, I'm back. So we had got an eviction notice, like I said, and my father came home in the midst of me packing, packing my stuff, because my grandma had some boxes, and so I was packing my stuff at the time. At this point, my father had a girlfriend that would eventually become his wife or whatever, and she was in the front at this time. And while I was packing, while I was packing my shit, this fucking bastard of a piece of shit, okay, this fucking piece of shit of a man walked into my room while I was packing, and again, didn't even know what the fuck was going on, why he did this shit to this day, but he he started punching me in the face. Um, he punched me like I was a man on the street that owed him some money for drugs or some shit. I don't know. And he just punched me over and over and over and over again. And to the point where I was in the middle of the room and he was punching me so much. I ended up literally getting knocked into the wall and he just kept punching at me. My face was so swollen on the side of my face, and I still have a dent in my face from it. But he would have kept punching me, but my grandma had I think I'm jumping the gun a little bit. I did say, like I said, I did call the police on him. On two different occasions because, like I said, he was being abusive to me, and of course, the police didn't do anything. One time they did take me to my other grandma's house on my mom's side, and she didn't seem to give a fuck. I told her what happened. She was just like, "Oh, okay, well, whatever. Just stay at a weekend and then go back home." Not really giving a fuck. Clearly, didn't even call them. Didn't even talk to them about anything. Nothing. You know. Ugh. And so um yeah. Anyway, like I said, back to him doing that. After he got done doing that, he stormed off. He walked outside to go hang out with whoever. I guess my uncles or some shit. Uncle and my nephew, whoever he went to go hang out with. I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, after he got done doing that, and he left. He was like, "If you call the police, I'm gonna fuck you up. Stay your ass in this house. Don't call anybody. Don't go anywhere. Or I'm gonna fuck you up." So, like I said, my face was swollen on one side, and I walked to the front because I couldn't I couldn't be in my room. Clearly, like I mean, after what he just did to me, I didn't even want to go in there. Um, so I just went. I wanted to go into the front, and I saw his future wife in there in the front, and she saw my face and she looked sad, but she didn't say anything. Um, and I just was like, I don't even know. I didn't even know who she was. I was just like, he must just be one of his random chicks that he's with because he had multiple chicks. So it was kind of like, oh, okay, you're just another random chick. Hopefully you see what he did to me and you move the fuck around with your life. Like, who does this to their kid? Regardless of what the fuck that kid is, to randomly use me as a punching bag because y'all three grown ass people didn't want to pay the mortgage. But anyway, I ended up I ended up. That was when I was in high school. That was like within my first year of high school. We had to move. Um, so my uh, after my first year of high school, I think that was. Um, anyway, after that, I ended up moving out, and well, my grandma ended up moving out, and he didn't move with us. He ended up moving in with his future wife, basically, and I never really saw him. And then when I did see him, it was Inspector Gadget. It was this, that, and the third. Um, it was it was so crazy to me because when I did find something I liked, no one noticed. When I started playing football, he didn't care. Um, and honestly, from the time I was in seventh grade, basically through high school, he never bought me anything. I didn't get. I got some birthday money, but other than that, I didn't get anything else. And when I get birthday money, I mean like maybe $50 or something, you know. But when you don't have shoes and you don't have clothes and you don't have all this stuff and you're just like wearing old things all the time for years and years, it's kind of like, wow, this is crazy. But anyway, I can't even think right now. My head is hurting. But he ended up, like I said, he moved out, and it was just me and my cousin, me and my grandma, and he would check in on us or whatever. Like I said, he didn't buy me anything. She didn't buy me anything. Neither one of them did. So of course, I ended up having to buy my own stuff when I was, as soon as I can get a job, a little part-time job with the school, after school matters. Thank you so much for helping me, because y'all helped me in so many different ways in so many parts of life when I really needed that money, um, just to buy new shoes, just to buy. And at that time, I was when I was I know I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, but when I was in that first year of high school, I started smoking cigarettes. I started smoking weed. I started drinking, damn near on a daily basis. Um, say no more. But yeah, I started drinking and smoking a lot every day. Um, I guess it helped. It really made me help. It really helped me. I don't know what it helped me do, but I guess it was like a number help. I helped to help the numbing, I guess. And I was always scared that he would. I just never knew when he was going to pop up and punch me in the face or something. So, whatever. So kind of every time I saw him, I did feel some type of way. Who wouldn't feel some type of way? But anyway, so I ended up coming out. Well, actually, let me step back a little bit, because it wasn't just all black and white, him just being abusive. Because I ended up, there was a situation where I did come out to him before we got evicted. I think I ended up coming out to him in that summer of the summer that we got evicted. And I did tell him, because at that point, um, with him constantly abusing me and me drinking and smoking and being so alone and feeling like no one gave a fuck, and no one did give a fuck, and being around people just to be around them, I ended up in eighth grade, ended up meeting, becoming friends with this, future trans woman, um, and they showed me the LGBT world for the first time, and I'm so grateful for them for doing that, because it had saved my life in a lot of ways too. Um, and I remember I used to go out, and I used to be out. Mind you, I'm a freshman in high school, so I'm like 14. I used to be out all night, all night. Wouldn't call, wouldn't say anything, wouldn't say, "Oh, I'm at my friend's house." I would just be out all night. I wouldn't come home. And there was to the point at one point where I was actually like, I literally was going like a whole weekend. I didn't even speak to them. And when I finally did see my father, he was like, "Oh, well, just make sure that you let us know if you're gonna go out or if you're gonna be gone." And I'm just like, I'm 14. You just tell you I'm gonna be gone. You don't care where. Just I'm gonna be gone. So anyway, so clearly they didn't give a fuck. So anyway, I was gone, and during that time when I was gone, I was either I was hooking. Honestly, I started hooking because that's what they did. So I was like, okay, I don't have anything else to do, and I don't have any money, so why not? And in this particular incident, I had came home with that friend that I had with and this other guy, and it was a whore. The guy was a complete whore, even though my friend was a whore too. And I was a hoe too. I ain't gonna even lie. I was just busting down everywhere because I had lost my virginity when I was 14. Um, and being exposed to so many people who are like me, whatever. Um, basically, he ended up seeing some. I had on like a pink skirt, and I never took it off because I went to sleep and I woke up with the pink skirt on. And he was like, this is something you need to tell me, something you talk to me about, da 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 da. So they ended up talking to me. Well, he ended up talking to me, and I ended up telling him like I'm gay, basically. And he was like, he was oddly calm. I've never seen him so calm. You know, all those times that he beat me, and all those times that he was abusive to me, and all those times he just randomly attacked me. The one time I actually tell him for the first time that I'm gay, he like doesn't do anything. Um, However, he did ended up making me tell my grandma, and then he made me tell my uncle and my godfather. honestly, I was really scared because I felt like he brought them over so that they could, take me to the, like Old Yeller or something, take me to the back or something. I don't know. And he ended up after I told them that I was like, because after I told him that I'm like, you were the one abusing me, you were the one beating me all the time for nothing, for little to no reason. So after I told him that, telling them I really didn't give a fuck. I was like, I don't even give a fuck. You don't take care of me. She don't take care of me. They definitely don't take care of me. So what the fuck do I care if y'all know if I'm gay or not? So yeah, I told them or whatever. And since I did tell them, as a result of me telling them, he tried to, beat me in front of them. And, they stopped him from, going too deep. Because he punched the shit out of me. When I say he punched the shit out of me in my chest, like I couldn't even breathe. He punched me right in the sternum, so hard I could not breathe. Literally, he took all the air out of me when he did that, and they stopped him. Or my uncle stopped him. My blood uncle, not my godfather. And anyway, so they end up. I think that like all of that, added up to him. End up, we got evicted. He punched me in the face. He ended up leaving. Da da da. And so last little part of this because I'm gonna just say two more little parts to the story, and that's it. Um, when I was 17, like I said, my whole teenage life was basically, people not really giving a fuck about, or let's just be real, they didn't give a fuck about me. They didn't. And I don't need to sugarcoat it because fuck all of them, honestly. But shit, grandma included. Because all the times that I got beat, all the times that I didn't have shit and didn't have anything or no one to support me, she wasn't there either. So I can't be like, oh well, Lola, step into the rule. No, she's not. She was in the same category, and she was one of the first family members to break my fucking heart. So when she did what she did to me with my cat. Anyway, because oh god, and I know it's just the cat, but that was like my best friend. That was my best friend. I digress. Anyway, so I was about 17, and I had a boyfriend, and I thought, or at least I thought I had a boyfriend, and all this shit. Da da da. I made a video about what happened after that because that's when I was with my best friend and all that. But yeah. He ended up. I was bad. I ain't gonna lie. I was a bad bitch. I started acting in a fool. I stopped going to school because I know they didn't give a fuck. They didn't check my report card. They didn't give a fuck. So I didn't give a fuck either, and I stopped going to school. Like I would miss a half of the day, or I would miss like the first two periods or whatever. I would just always not show up. I was never there. I was never there. Um, and you know, if I needed anything, or if I left my phone at work, or if I left my phone or whatever, I would call my uncle and have my uncle give me my phone and all that type of shit. So anyway, um anyway, so I had a boyfriend and my I was being my regular little bad self at this point because I didn't give a fuck because they didn't give a fuck, so I didn't give a fuck either. I ended up having him stay overnight at my house, like, and I think he had stayed overnight. I think this was maybe the second time, maybe the third time he had stayed overnight at my house, or whatever. And I don't know what the fuck I was doing because my dad would sometimes like pop up out of my father would sometimes pop up out of nowhere and just come over my house and just come over there, to be a snoop, blah blah blah, whatever. So I really didn't give a fuck. But anyway, so one morning before my grandma had went on vacation, my father called, and my father had he just I don't even know what he was saying because I was so over it. He literally had was just talking about what he was gonna do to me and all of these things and all of that things and how he wasn't gonna raise a child. That was this and that. Raise a child, really. But anyway, so he at that point I was over it. I went from, you know, I was so depressed, I was so angry, I was so lonely for so long, and finally feeling like I belonged somewhere, and I had a group of people that cared about me. Um, and him saying he was gonna kick me out, and he was gonna beat me, and he was gonna do all these things, and da 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 da. Wait till I get there, and all this other bullshit. And he literally cursed me out for like 2 hours, and so I was just like, at the first 30 minutes, I kind of was scared. Honestly, I was like, damn, I'm so scared. Like he's gonna really hurt me. This time he's really gonna hurt me for real, for real. And but after that, I realized I was like, bitch, you're 17. You don't have to stay here anymore. You don't have to keep putting up with this shit. You can, even though it's gonna be so hard and it's gonna be so tough, and you don't know where your next meal is gonna come from, and you don't know if you're gonna have anything stable in your life. You still need to leave because this isn't for you. This has never been for you, and it definitely ain't for you now. So my grandma had went on vacation. Of course she was the one that said it, even though I didn't confirm it or anything. She was definitely the one that that confirmed. They probably told him like, hey, they got da da da, they doing da da da, da da da, whatever. So I mean, like I said, I was bad, but at the end of the day, I didn't have any structure in my life. There was no structure at all. Like they didn't give a fuck. And when you raise someone not giving a fuck, they don't give a, they're gonna grow up not giving a fuck either eventually, which is what happened. Anyway, so that was honestly, I think I only saw him like one time after that, and that was like years later at Thanksgiving. But anyway, so yeah, because I basically, like I said, in that incident when he was cursing me out for the 2 hours, I literally was like, oh, okay. Okay? I just started going, okay, 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 That was literally all I said as I packed my shit up, to get to walk the fuck out the door with my man, who I thought was my man, broke bitch. Fucking dick was like this fucking big and all the things. Okay, anyway, that was short lived. Once I moved in with my friend who lived. Once I moved in with my friend, basically they was MIA because I couldn't do shit for them. Leech. Anyway, so type of leech. But anyway, so I ended up leaving, and that was literally the last time. The only saw him, like I said, I only saw him one time after that. After we had that conversation, and that was on Thanksgiving when I was grown, and he was belittling. He knew him putting his hands on me definitely wasn't gonna happen because I'm like, I don't live under your house. And if you put your hands on me, I knew, and because like we ended up talking because I'm like, I needed to talk to him because I'm like, I want to talk to you. So I'm like, me and you need to talk. So we talked or whatever. I was emotional. He's like, oh well, you're a boy still. Da da da. I'm like, I'm not a boy. Of course, I wasn't trans at this point, so I was like, I'm a man. I'm not a boy. I take care of myself. I pay my own bills. I have a house. I have my own place. You know, I have a job. You're not going to be sitting here calling me a boy, and you had literally nothing to do with my upbringing. You have no right to call me a boy or a man or anything. Shit. Anyway, so he ended up, I ended up getting really emotional that day. Um, and actually, the girl that was his future wife, she was there, and I shaded that bitch so bad. It was so fucking funny, and it was so crazy because so many people in my family, so many of my cousins was like, well, at least one of my cousins, the cousin that was like a year older than me or a couple of months older than me, she wanted to beat his ass. I swear to God, she was like, "This motherfucker, la la la," because motherfuckers knew what he was doing. So it was like you can't sit here and act like and have this image, this fake facade, you know. Of course, I wasn't on that with him. I was just like, I just wanted to say my piece because after I got my piece, said my piece. Now that I was grown, I, knew that was it. I wasn't gonna ever talk to him again in life, and I didn't. Um, I didn't even hug his wife. I was like, girl, I don't even know you. All I do know is you saw him beating on me, and you just sat there with a sad mug on your face, and then you have the nerve to marry this man, and then have a kid with him or whatever. Y'all, I don't know if y'all had a kid or not. I don't care, but it was just like it was a fool. It really was a fool, and yeah, it was really a fool. That whole situation was a fool. And I had no filter at that point because, like I said, I was living reckless, and so I was like a sailor at the mouth and all this other shit. So, anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I'm happy I got through that. It was harder than I thought to get that out. But if I do post this, thank y'all for listening to my story of abuse and molestation. Of course, other things happened in my life, and I'll get to those potentially at other times because I'm no angel, and I did things. I was bad here and there. Here and there, shit, shit stole from Target. Uh, the cousin that molested me, I ended up having this sick attraction to him for a while, and when I was, young, still like in that I wasn't that young, I guess. Like it was like seventh, I want to say sixth. No, was it sixth? No, I don't think it was sixth grade. I think it was seventh and maybe seventh. I know it wasn't in eighth grade. I want to say sixth and seventh grade. It was like this sick attraction I had to him, sexual attraction to him, which he exploited, of course, like molesters tend to do. Anyway, so and they wouldn't just molested me either. He actually raped people. So, anywho, that's it. That's all. I don't have nothing else to say. I'm drained and I want to eat my salad and I want to smoke my black and mild. And so.